And Andrea, you want to open us up?
Is Bob not here?
I don't see him.
Well, imagine that. Hi, folks. This is Andrea Suhaka. I was the chair of the DRMAC board, and now I'm the secretary. I'd like to welcome you all to June's RCC meeting. Howdy.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Dr. Max June Regional Coordinating Council meeting, or RCC. Today, we are excited to bring you some fun, accessible activities to do this summer, some transportation provider updates, and some legislative and funding updates and opportunities. As always, Steph will start with a quick Dr. Mac mission review and some essential housekeeping.
Thank you, Colleen, and welcome everyone, especially those who are joining us for the first time. At DRMAC, our mission is to overcome mobility barriers through education, collaboration, and advocacy to enhance quality of life. We aim to inform and empower people to overcome mobility barriers, making transportation equitable, accessible, and affordable for all. Please go ahead and type your name and organization in the chat if you haven't done so already. We kindly ask that everyone stay muted unless you are speaking, but feel free to use the chat as needed for questions or to share comments throughout the meeting. You can also raise your virtual hand using the reactions button. And now we are going to move ahead onto some staff introductions. A few of the team is out of the office right now, but we'll start with Latoya.
Thanks, Steph. So, for those who don't know me, I see a couple of new faces here. I'm the development manager here with Dr. Mac. I oversee quite a few different things. One of the things I do is volunteer recruiting, as well as interns. And so, with the summer being as hot and exciting as it is, and usually is every year, we have lots of events to attend. So, lots of opportunities in person and virtual. So, if you know anybody who's looking for a little bit extra stuff to do and kind of give back to the community, please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you and get that going. Other than that, any opportunities for some collaboration or events that are coming up, please send them my way. We would love to support in any way. Yep, that's me, Stephanie.
Yeah, thanks. And hello again. Yeah, I'm Stephanie. I am the program manager here at DRMAC. I talk about it every single meeting, but we are in full swing for our travel training and our tech training program. We recently did a curriculum revamp update for some of the travel training material. So we will be marketing that fairly soon. I believe actually may have already been marketed, but we will be sharing that out soon. So if you haven't taken a travel training before, now is the perfect time. And if you have already, I encourage you to take another one. And then we have some other really exciting updates coming very soon for our travel training program. So if you are subscribed to our newsletter, you will likely be getting an email soon with that exciting update. And then we'll be posting on social media and our website and all that stuff too. So yeah, keep an eye out. Maria?
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Griffin and I'm the DRMAC Marketing and Program Coordinator. It's kind of
Oh,
hard to believe that we're getting closer to our next edition for our Getting There guide, but I'm probably already on your inbox for all our transportation partners. Please make sure to reply with any updates you have about your service. We'll love to know about anything you want to share with us. And yeah, that's me. Thank
and
thank
Maria,
you,
real
team.
quick,
Yes.
your microphone is just a little low. I don't know if you have another audio source that you could use, or I don't know.
Can you hear me better now?
It's kind of the same, but yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Sorry, I'm gonna try to speak as loud as I can until I can kind of switch it up. Feel like I'm screaming right now, but thank you, team. Last month we shared some of our new additions to our Getting There guide, and I am excited to share a few more that we've added since then. We're pleased to add Andy's House, Rye Lafayette, Fort Collins, Dial a Rye, City of Fort Collins, Transport, Happy Rides, and sane volunteer transportation to our growing resource list. Their services are already live on our website and in the Getting There app. So if you haven't already, please be sure to download it on your iPhone or Android to check out the latest updates.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's been really exciting to see all of our resources grow this year and last year, so excited for that to continue. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our first speaker. We have a pretty packed agenda today, so I would like to introduce, sorry, I just lost my place. From Wilderness on Wheels, we have Heather Collins, the general manager, so I'll go ahead and pass that off to Heather. And I am not seeing, it looks like I'm not seeing Heather actually. I don't know if anyone else from Heather's team is with us today. If not, we can go ahead and move on to the next speaker.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe she'll join a little bit later. I'll go ahead and pass it off to Maria to introduce our next speaker.
Next, I am happy to introduce Brandon Figliolino, the Community Engagement Manager from RTD, who will share information about RTD Zero Fare for Youth. Brandon, are you here with us?
Hi, Maria. This is Austin from RTD. I don't believe Brandon could make it today. So he did not send me a presentation, unfortunately, to present. But he told me just before this meeting that he was unable to attend today.
Okay. In that case, we're joined also. Let me introduce Austin Nettleton, the Digital Customer Relations Liaison from RTD, who is going to talk about RTD Rad Things to Do. Austin?
Awesome. Thanks, Maria. And a quick correction, my title is Senior Specialist Public Relations. That is a former title I had, but I just wanted to get that out there. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let me go ahead and get my presentation going here, and then I will share my screen. All right. Let me get this going here. I got a little weird view going on, but we will fix that here in a sec. Apologies here, and let's see. There we go. Cool. All right, let's see if this worked here. And oops, it is messing with my monitor. All right. Apologies. I've got a really crazy setup in my apartment here, and so sometimes whenever I start presenting PowerPoints, Microsoft Office really does not like to cooperate. But we will get this going here in a second. Thank you so much for your patience.
It's technology.
No
That's what
problem.
it
Yeah,
is.
that's been my day all day today. So take your
For
time,
sure.
Austin. It's okay.
For sure.
I could probably say more than half these people are going to in this room right now are going to say, "Yep, we could attest this week or not last week." So
For sure, I could totally relate. All right, I think we've got it going here, so let me go ahead and get it popped up, and then we will get started. It will let me share my screen. There we go. Sure. Great. Can you all see my screen here?
No.
Interesting.
now we could.
There we go.
There we go. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. And apologies for the black bars. I've got an ultra wide monitor, so it's not going to stretch out the full length. So apologies for that. But thank you all so much for allowing me to speak to you all today. As stated earlier, my name is Austin Nettleton. I'm a senior specialist public relations here for RTD. And I am so excited to be able to talk to you today about Rad Things to Do, which has been my passion project here at RTD. Exploring fun events within walking distance from RTD stops and stations. So a quick introduction about me, since this is my first time on a Dr. Mac call and getting to meet you all, except for Kelly. Hi, Kelly. I saw you on the call. Kelly's a great colleague to work with. We are so blessed to have her here at RTD. But a quick introduction about me. As I said, I'm a senior specialist public relations here for RTD. I graduated from Texas Tech University in 2014 with a Bachelor of Arts in Public Relations, and again in 2016 with a Master of Arts in Mass Communications. I moved to Colorado in late 2016 to pursue a career in the ski and snowboard industry. I've done marketing work at both Keystone Resort and Copper Mountain before I moved to Denver in late 2018 to start my career here at RTD. I joined RTD as a digital customer relations liaison in our customer care division. And then I was promoted shortly after to be the lead of that team, which that team is responsible for the social customer care stuff. So if you've ever interacted with RTD on social media, you've most likely interacted with someone on our DCRL team. And I was the lead of that team in 2020. And then I got promoted to Senior Specialist Public Relations in 2022, where I remain today. So my role here at RTD involves strategizing, coordinating, and executing on RTD's internal and employee communications tactics to keep our 3,000 plus workforce informed of everything that's going on within the agency and outside of the agency as well. I also work very closely with our media relations team to produce content such as Rad Things to Do for our news stop and serve as a backup spokesperson for the agency. So my off-the-clock hobbies include downhill mountain biking, snowboarding, attending metal and pop punk concerts, obsessing over motorsports, especially Formula One, studying the weather, and playing video games. So enough about me. What is Rad Things to Do? So Rad Things to Do is a monthly editorial series highlighting the fun events that take place within walking distance, which is less than equal to half a mile away from an RTD bus stop or train station within our service area here in Denver. I feature some of Denver's most popular event venues, and I complete with the full schedule of events for each venue for the entire month. So I list out key venues here in Denver, and every single event, whether it's a concert or a celebration, it could be anything. If it's happening at that venue, it's going to be featured in Rad Things to Do. And so the purpose of this is to encourage customers heading out to events to ditch the car. Instead, take RTD services to save time, money, and most importantly, stress, reminding them that the only thing they should focus on is, well, making memories. A quick history of Rad Things to Do. It originally started off as our Stop Requested series, a series I pioneered, which at the time focused on restaurants, bars, event venues, and other fun things to do near a specific RTD bus stop or train station. However, as the metro was opening up after the COVID-19 pandemic and major events were starting to return to the metro area, we naturally saw a huge influx of people returning to RTD services. So using our buses and trains to get to these events. So I evolved it into Rad Things to Do. If you haven't caught on, it also is short for, or it's short RTD. That's the acronym. So, but it's called Rad Things to Do. I started it in 2023 to help customers learn about how to use RTD to get back outside and enjoy events once again, while also providing an all-inclusive list of events for customers to consider attending. So, what events qualify for Rad Things to Do? So, large-scale festivals, such as the Outside Festival we just had, Decadence, Fan Expo, Cherry Blossom Festival, Oktoberfest. Those really, really big festivals are key events I like to promote in Rad Things to Do. I also promote parades, such as the Visi Denver Pride Parade, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, 90s Parade of Lights, the Juneteenth Parade, stuff like that. Of course, concerts, which I'll dive into here in a bit, theater, plays, and musicals taking place at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts and the Denver Performing Arts Complex. And of course, most importantly, for a lot of people here in the Metro, sporting events from the Metro's college and pro sports franchises. So I will cover, the main franchises, the Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets. If they play at either Ball Arena or Empire Field, I'll cover it. Fortunately, we don't have service going out to Dick's Sporting Goods Park or the current temporary the Denver Summit FC, I should say, stadium down in Centennial. We don't have services for those, so I don't include those in Rad Things to Do. This is explicitly for venues that are within a half a mile radius from a stop or station. But I will also include touring sporting events such as the Professional Women's Hockey League, Monster Energy AMA Supercross, which is pictured on the right here, went this year, total blast. Monster Jam, your wrestling events such as WWE, AEW, TNA, UFC, stuff like that. So anything that's really happening at the Ball Arena or in Power Field or at DU or CU, I will promote. So I kind of already touched on this, what venues are considered when I'm drafting Rad Things to Do every month. So this is not an inclusive list. This is just kind of paint the picture of the things I consider, including Power Field, Folsom Field, Coors Field for our big stadiums. For arenas, Ball Arena, the Magnus Arena there at the University of Denver, the Denver Coliseum, National Western Center, and the CU Event Center. Moving on, of course, as I said earlier, the Denver Performing Arts Complex feature. I like to include all the theaters, the theatrical performances, the plays, the musicals taking place there. Event halls such as the Colorado Convention Center and the Stockyards Event Center, excuse me. Outdoor event spaces such as the Tivoli Quad at Auraria Campus, Civic Center Park, and yes, even Eldora Mountain Resort, a place I hold near and dear to my heart. So some of the concert venues I also include in Rad Things to Do are Fiddler's Green Amphitheater, Mission Ballroom, the Junkyard, Fillmore Auditorium, Ogden Theater, Gothic, Summit Music Hall, and Marquee Theater. This is not the comprehensive list. This is just a few of the standouts that I include. So what makes Rad Things to Do so different than something such as like do303.com or Visit Denver? Well, unlike those, which really paint a broad picture of every single thing going on and don't really explain how to get to them, Rad Things to Do focuses on everything that's easily accessible via RTD services. So bus, light rail, and commuter rail. If you can walk to it without too much effort from an RTD stop or station, it is included. This encourages transit use over personal transport rideshare, saving money in the process. And it's also considerate of those with mobility challenges as well. So that way we can make sure everyone gets to enjoy a fun night out or a fun weekend out. Not having to worry about dealing with traffic or, navigating parking and all the headaches that come with going to and from major events, but instead just really focusing on everyone being able to enjoy these events and let RTD handle the driving for everyone going. I also make it into an easy to read format that allows readers to find events they want to go to without having to go through the stress of having to go through multiple websites, deal with the annoying of advertisements, pop-ups, because no offense to those sites, but it can be a little overwhelming to navigate some of those, especially when there's a lot going on in a month. This organizes it, makes it very easy to read and all on one page. So yeah, it's really all about accessibility and making going out for a night out in the town as painless as possible. So customers can view all the nearby transit routes and lines and stops, as well as view ticketing information, all without having to leave the article. I make sure to update the stops, the routes, every time we have a service change, such as what's going to take place on Sunday. So you always know the best way to get to and from the venue. What is the best route? What is the best stop? Where should you get off at? Where should you board at after the show is over or the event is over? Stuff like that. All those things I take into consideration when creating Rad Things to Do. For those who like to go to concerts, they might want to see a new artist or get familiar with another artist's discography or something. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, I like to feature music videos from featured artists that I choose from the list. So that way, those looking for maybe something new can get an idea of what those bands or artists sound like before committing to going to their show. So the thing I take pride in the most with Rad Things to Do is no artificial intelligence is used. I do 100% of the research. I curate the lists every time I go to every website of every single venue that I use and just get the information from there. And I draft it each month all by myself. It's something I take a lot of pride in and will continue to do as long as Rad Things to Do continues to be a thing. Another thing, too, about Rad Things to Do, no sponsored third-party submissions, paid promotional content, or advertisements. Everything on there is organic. Height is curated by me, like I said, and this ensures all events are fairly and equally featured. Granted, I do in my summaries that I include at the top of Rad Things to Do, I do feature like the biggest events, biggest concerts going on. But aside from that, there is no paid promotions, no sponsored third-party submissions, nothing like that. And I like to take a laid-back, humorous approach to Rad Things to Do. I like to let my personality flow on these a little bit. A little bit of sarcasm in there every now and then. Anyone who's read Rad Things to Do knows I like to take shots at the Rockies. Sorry, they make it too easy for me. I apologize. I am a Rockies fan to a degree. It's just a little way of coping with the Rockies as of late. But it all means that it's all designed to emphasize that events are meant to be fun and euphoric, not stressful. You shouldn't have to be sweating and angry before you even get out of a car to get to the event. You should be able to get to the event and enjoy the event without having to be stressed out. So that's the philosophy behind this. So I know I flew through that pretty fast. Does anyone have any questions?
How do I read Rad Things to Do, or where is it posted?
Absolutely. So I'll move on to the next slide right here. So you can find Rad Things to Do on the RTD News Stop, which is on the RTD website. So you can type in that bit.ly or scan the QR code. That should take you to the list of all the Rad Things to Do articles I've published. I plan to publish June's actually later this afternoon or first thing in the morning. So we'll have a fresh Rad Things to Do for June here very soon to add to the list. But you can always go to the news stop, and we do share it via our social media channels at Ride RTD. So you can always check it out there. But the best place to check it out is on the RTD website. Awesome. Any other questions? Yes, Melanie, go ahead.
I put it in the chat, but I just want to throw out that the Summit FC Stadium in Centennial is on the 153 bus route. So cue it up for later this summer.
Excellent. Can't wait. Awesome. I'll make sure thank you for bringing that up. I'll make sure to add that. I've really been wanting to include Denver Summit games in this. So I'm glad that stadium is going to be by one of our stops. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Yes, Director Lewis.
Yeah, do you guys ever encourage vendors to include a RTD bus ticket when they purchase their initial ticket to encourage people to use mass transit?
That is something I do not have the answer to, unfortunately. That would be a question best directed to our market development team. I wish I had the answer for you, Director Lewis, but unfortunately, I do not. I apologize.
Maybe something to discuss with them. It sounds like
that is a good idea.
Reasonable idea.
For sure. Absolutely. Thank you for the idea, Director Lewis. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Austin.
I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to Rad Things to Do. Recently, I attended a Rockies game with my sister-in-law who was in a car accident a while ago. So she couldn't walk to far distances, and I know about that shuttle thanks to these sections. So yeah, pretty cool.
Love to hear it. Glad to hear it, Maria. Glad it's been helpful. So I appreciate that. Well, if there's no other questions, you can reach out to me via email, austin.nettleton@rtd-denver.com. If you have any feedback at all about Rad Things to Do, have any ideas, or if you have any other venues I should consider looking at, please send them my way. Admittedly, I did have to scale back a little bit versus what it used to be. There used to be a good 20 plus venues that I would feature. Scaled it back a little bit this year to be a little bit more streamlined. But if you have any ideas of venues to feature in the future or any things you'd like to see in Rad Things to Do moving forward, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am located at RTD headquarters, 1660 Blake Street, Denver, Colorado. So with all that being said, thank you all so much for the time and attention, and have a great rest of your day.
Amen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Austin. I'm going to get our slides pulled back up and introduce our next speaker. One sec. Okay. I want to introduce our next speaker, Thomas Wilson from R&H Creative Advocacy and Storytelling. Thomas, do you have slides, or are you just gonna talk?
I have images. I apologize. It has been a busy time of year, and I completely forgot to do that.
That is okay.
Will I be able to share my screen?
Yes, I will go ahead and stop sharing. You can go ahead and share.
Awesome. So really quickly, because Austin did such an amazing job talking about who he was and what he does, I'm gonna take a leaf from that playbook. So I'm Thomas R. Wilson. I do add the R in there because I always joke there's about a billion of us Thomas Wilsons out there, and I like the distinction. Um, if you know, you know. Like I swear I have like six Thomas Wilsons in my family. But I myself, and I'm going to try to do this very quickly for everybody's time. I myself spent a lot of my time as a young kiddo in and out of programs going through a variety of systems of care, often being told that I was too difficult to work with or that I was in my neurodiversity and in my mental health. I was not the right fit. I think a lot of us can explore and understand that, especially as we're growing up. I spent a lot of my time in the school system as well, being told I can't, you won't, you're a monster, all kinds of awful things. And I learned as a young kid. One of the things that a lot of people really need is one, creativity, but another aspect of that is empathy-based leadership. And before I pull up my slides, I just want to emphasize in my experience, I actually carried this mentality in my 10 years of healthcare as I got older. After I graduated from college and did a whole bunch of things that many people said I never would, partly out of my own active defiance, but also partly for my community. I have actually spent the last 10 years in a healthcare organization called Angel Service LLC, but I also opened my business in 2021. And the big focus, if it's not obvious in my business's name, is to use creativity and storytelling as a means to help people empower themselves and make sure that they can fundamentally access their communities, but also engage in creative events. And if you don't know, creativity is an extremely powerful tool in order to help people share their voices, explore their identity, help them to figure out who they want to be. But the other big mission in my work is not necessarily to automatically imply my good intentions, but to actually help the community and the people that I work with find their passion and their drive and work. And so this summer in particular, I'm working on a variety of programs. I actually have three different camps that are at max capacity across Colorado for Dungeons and Dragons. If you've never played, it is a fantastic game that gravitates to the neurodiverse community where people can role play, play games, explore storytelling, and also help meet their fellow peers. But I'm also doing a comic book creators club where we're going to use comic books as a means to help people develop their original characters, build stories of good and evil, and also develop skills in another genre that is so beloved by the mental health and neurodiverse community. Additionally, as I pull up another image, I'm also going to share this one, and hopefully you can see this gaming group. Another thing that I know the community loves is Pokemon, and there was a wonderful game that was released recently, which is called Pokopia, which is like Pokemon and Minecraft mashed together. And I am going to be running this. It's a little slow and the flyer needs to be updated a little bit, but this goal of this group is to help people figure out through gaming, specifically building and making construction objects in a game dedicated to people's passion for Pokemon, to help them collaboratively work together, build our own little world, and also develop real life skill development, just like the comic book group. The goal is always to help people find their voice, find their passion, but also develop problem solving, creative thought processing, self exploration, self advocacy, so many different things. And I run across people all the time who are like, how does this work? And the great thing about it is that it is a fun collaborative space where there's not a lot of pressure. People get to ask questions. I always say that questions are a pathway to power. They get to explore their local community. They get to meet friends and they get to be given prompts and jobs in order to do within each of these gaming sessions or classes. The other thing that I also love to say is creativity gives this great passionate exploration on something that many people don't even realize they're developing skills. And Every single group can be matched to people's local communities and can be at spaces that are fundamentally matched to their personality traits, while also helping them embrace their own strengths through a strength-based mindset. And as we go as well, come on, speaking of technology, I'm also launching a couple small organizational camps that are for like kiddos 13 to 18 because so many people that I talk to and I realize 13 to 18 year olds are realistically not kiddos, but when you get to my age it kind of all shifts back in my old ancient years. But everything is in these camps, the Dungeons and Dragons takes everything that I've mentioned, but it also works with teenagers who are also so often for families, and it also incorporates small, contained, sensory-friendly, and community-welcome spaces where they will be able to have all of the skills developed, but also make hopefully lasting, lifelong friendships. In a world where people feel so self-isolated or isolated, these are fantastic programs. I will make sure that my contact information is put in the chat, but I also don't want to take up everybody's time because I've probably been talking for a while. But again, everything is empathy focused, strength-based led. Will not feel like they're less than, but they'll feel empowered through their creativity and their passions.
This is
The
awesome.
answers
Thank you so
from
much for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say this is awesome. I think there may have been a tech glitch. We were only looking at the comic image. If you could either share the pictures for the other two in the chat, or if you could email them to Maria, we can pass them along to everyone too. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome. Does anyone have any questions?
I do. Quick question. Thomas, is there age, what is the youngest without, what are the age guidelines for this program or
So,
the age requirements?
so for D&D, I often recommend 7 and up, but I've worked with people all the way into their golden years. However, I didn't have a flyer for this prepped for today, but I am going to be working with kiddos as young as 5 and 6 to teach them a very rules light system of Dungeons and Dragons. The comic book club in particular is going to be working with that 5 all the way like 17, 18. I do want to launch it for the adults as well. I just have not had enough time in the summer. And then Dungeons and Dragons and the gaming groups can go all the way into adulthood as well. And part of the reason I actually chose Pokopia is because it's very learner friendly and it encourages, even for the youngest among us, the idea to see instant rewards. So, like the 5, 6, maybe even 4 year olds would really thrive from it.
Well, thank you so much. It's a cool program.
And I do see, Andrea, you said your 56-year-old daughter still is Pokemon. I'm gonna be a Pokemon nerd to the day I die. I love it so much. And thank you, Sarah, for the comment, that lovely comment. Were there any other questions?
Is Play Forge in Main Street in Littleton one of the locations that you usually
So
have?
it's not, I want to get connected with them. But one of the community resource as well as the Autism Community Store in Aurora. I've also partnered with local libraries. I have partnered with open spaces that have large tables. It when I why the reason I'm not giving specifics is part of the reason I want to make sure it's always accessible for families. So what I do is I work to find a space as close to the families as possible because travel is hard, especially
Mhm.
with neurodiverse individuals. And so if I can find, even if I've never met them before, I will reach out to an organization, try to match it. And then additionally, I also work really hard to find places that have wheelchair ramps or at least not as many stairs. And honestly, I've been talking to organizations and libraries all across Colorado. Does that help with your question, Maria?
Yeah, it's just a location that is pretty close to my home, and I was wondering if maybe I can stop by with my nephew. He it's like since 2 years old, he's been collecting Pokemon, catching the Pokemon. He's like so into it. And I just thought it was a great idea for him to kind of check it out and be among his peers. Sometimes he will be talking to me about a specific Pokemon, and there's always so many. I can't keep track. So yeah, thank you so much for speaking today, Thomas R. Wilson. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I will say the local game shops are so often some of the most accessible and kindest communities that I've encountered. They are
Yeah.
so passionate about, I can't say all of them, but the vast majority I know of, they are so dedicated to honoring all people. Um, yes, Jamie.
Yeah, your hands are full, and I really appreciate the work you're doing, Thomas. I think you're definitely filling a void. Um, as you grow in the next couple of years, you just may want to see if you can carve out a space for older adults with disabilities. And the reason why I'm saying is that I'm 67, by the way, and
Hmm.
I have memories and stories that I'll be honest with you, I never really shared with people much. But now we're in an era where people who are at the state legislature, local governments, and at the federal governments that are passing laws or defunding
Mm,
disability programs based on no knowledge at all of what the past looked like.
bingo.
What did we look like 40 years ago? What did a person with a disability like mine go through 50 years ago? And I know there's a lot of people in my age group that would love to share those stories to elevate those stories to ensure that the past isn't forgotten. So I'm not saying you have to do it because I know your thing is full, but you kind of inspired me. I might be talking to some of my groups about, doing storytelling for people in my age group. But thank you again, Thomas. I think you're really doing a great job. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I just want to first really quickly, I see the comment in chat, but Jamie, first of all, thank you for trusting me with that information. It means a lot that you shared that. And then the other thing I want to say is, and I didn't get to say this, but you have inspired me to share this. I actually fundamentally, so I didn't get to say this, but all of my events are pay out of pocket, but they are also, except for like the camps and things, they are all primarily meant to be as affordable for families as much as possible. Part of the reason the camps are a little bit more expensive is because there's a lot more collaborative prep work, but the vast majority of my groups run from like 1350 to, and I'm not always comfortable saying this, $25. And part of that is because families often tell me I need to charge more. But especially with things being defunded, and especially with so much stuff being done at such an uninformed rate, my hope is that my platform and my style of doing things can actually open up avenues outside of government funded programs so that people who can't get on Medicare or Medicaid or are on it and it gets ripped away unexpectedly, they can still live their daily lives and still get the quality care that they need.
I love that. I love that. That's great.
But I will stop there just out of respect to everybody else.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to pass along any information about any of those groups and what you do. We send a follow-up email to all of our participants with information that was shared. So any pictures or flyers or information you have would be awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
And I did want to
I
say all of those pictures are in the chat now.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, I am gonna share my slides again, and then we will move on to our next speaker. We today are joined by Alyssa Scott from the Denver Botanic Gardens, who will talk to us a little bit about their programming and what they have going on there. So I'll pass it off to you, Alyssa.
Thanks so much, Stephanie, and thank you everyone for having me today. I'm not usually doing Zoom meetings where I'm talking, so I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Yeah,
Yes.
all right. Let me share my screen. Oh, okay. Is that working?
Looks like it's loading. Yes, we can see that.
Okay, great. Well, just to follow suit with my two fantastic presenters before me, my name is Alyssa Scott. I am originally from Virginia. I moved here in 2014 after graduating college. Have a background in psychology and horticulture. Had a little bit of a, you know, how life throws you curveballs and you take different paths. I was originally moved out here to be a modern dancer and did that for a number of years until I decided to go back to school and pursue my degree in horticulture, which led me to the Botanic Gardens in 2020. I'm sorry, 2021. It would be 5 years this October. Originally, when I was first hired, I was working with our production team. I was managing our production schedule, so I had a spreadsheet that was, 6,000 lines long, managing every single order when it needed to be started, where it was purchased from, all the notes. So it was very, very computer heavy. And in 2024, I was given the opportunity to transition into a new position. So now I am the assistant manager of horticulture, and I have also recently become a registered horticultural therapist. So I'm going to share with y'all a little bit about our horticultural therapy or therapeutic horticulture program and some of the programs that we offer for folks here in the area. So if you have never heard of horticultural therapy, I always tell people it's a new profession, but it's an ancient concept. We've had healing gardens since the days of ancient Egypt. And in modern times with research, we've found that working with plants, caring for plants, engaging with others in the community improves all aspects of well-being. So it can be mental, physical, social, emotional, spiritual, and ecological. So it's a really wonderful thing. I personally have, it has done wonders for me. And if you have ever been to a garden or green space, I'm sure you've felt the therapeutic benefits just by being there. So the mission of our therapeutic horticulture program is to provide the opportunity for underserved individuals and populations to develop functional life skills and occupational skills, to build a sense of community with their peers and improve their well-being through shared experiences by engaging in plant-based activities. So I have some of our main programs listed, and each of these is intended for a different population, essentially. So the Spark group is for folks with Alzheimer's and different types of dementia. We also have a group for folks with Parkinson's disease. One of the coolest things that we've done for over a decade is we partner with Craig Hospital, which is a leading hospital in traumatic brain injuries and spinal cord injuries. And every summer we invite 2 patients who have completed their in-hospital rehabilitation to participate in an internship here. So they come and work in the garden with myself and some of my trained volunteers. And this is an opportunity for them to get back out in the community, start working with their hands again. It's a really amazing thing that we offer every year. One of the newest programs that I'm really excited to offer, we did a pilot last year and we have 2 dates this year. It's called Exploring Bonsai. It's for folks with low and no vision. They're invited to come to our bonsai pavilion and they get to physically explore with their hands the collection. after they have that chance, we then invite them to the sensory garden where they get to explore more plants. And as far as probably the most accessible and wide group of populations and participants is our sensory adventures. We offer these at the gardens and also off-site at organizations. And these are for anyone. They can be absolutely anybody. And we usually do a hands-on exploration of different plants. We talk through memories, our experiences, how we can interact with them, what emotions those bring up. One of the basic tenets of these programs is mindfulness and spending an hour using your senses, not worrying about the past or the future, but focusing on something that you're touching or you're smelling or a memory that you're bringing back is a great way to have just a wonderful hour. So the populations that we reach here, they generally have limited opportunities to explore the gardens in the way that most of our guests and members would, which is why we offer these different programs. A lot of our participants are dealing with life-altering circumstances and diagnoses, so that these programs offer a more intimate experience. And I just really love this quote. It kind of sums up everything. We might think we are nurturing our garden, but of course, it's our garden that's really nurturing us. So thank y'all. If anyone has any questions, please raise your hand or let me know.
Anyone have any questions? Oh, Bob, did you?
Oh, Tara?
Yeah, sorry, I'm driving, so there's a little extra noise. But what are the costs for these programs? I work at Laredon with people who are experiencing intellectual and developmental disabilities. So we have some crossover with the specific populations you mentioned, but you know, we also have others, and they are mostly low income and Medicaid. And so, you know, we are limited on the activities that we can take them to. And so I was just wondering about fees and any opportunities for discounted fees.
Right, absolutely. So that is one thing that we do try to work with organizations on. Essentially, the cost is a donation. We do have different price points for organizations that are for profit and those that are not for profit. And then also for on-site programs versus off-site, just to account for mileage and travel and everything. So right now, the cost for a nonprofit organization is $85, and that covers everything for 12 participants. That being said, it is a sliding scale, so we are always able to make adjustments depending on the situation.
Okay, and then do we just contact like the main ticket office, or?
Oh, great question. So let me see if I can change how. Okay, can you see this screen?
No, I'm still looking at the slide.
Okay. All right, I'm not that tech savvy. So if you go to our website, at the top there is a ribbon with all the different options. If you go all the way to the right where it says Our Impact, it'll give you a drop-down menu, and you can go to therapeutic horticulture.
Okay.
And on that page, you can select sensory adventures, and that will give you an option to register for either sensory adventures at the gardens or on the road. And it just takes you through a form with some questions that will help me understand exactly what you're looking for, go through times, dates, things like that. So that would be the preferred way to do it.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do have one more question. Alyssa, I know that you mentioned that for this summer, the programs are already pretty much booked. when will be the ideal time to start getting in touch with you?
Sure. So the sensory adventure programs, those are going to be the most flexible, especially if it's a day program, smaller organization that wants to bring a group in. Those I can book pretty much anytime as long as the availability works out with my schedule and what is being requested. As far as the other programs go, like exploring bonsai, and let me go back to the other side. Some of the other programs, those are booked kind of in advance. You'll find those on the same page of the sensory adventures on our website, and each one has a registration. And they're like Spark and Flourish with Parkinson's are both year-round, once a month, but they do tend to fill up quickly. So you might not see any availability until, October or November, in which case that would just be the first availability for a new registrant. And usually by October, I open up the following year. The Exploring Bonsai program, since we only have 2 options for those, it kind of has to happen in the moment. Those are both booked, I think, totally for this year, but we will do that again next year. So some of it is just paying attention. We don't post social media things about the programs normally, but that's something that we're working on right now, actually.
Thank you so much, Elisa. And I know that sometimes like the Children's Museum and they have like free days. Are there any free days during the summer for the Denver Botanic Garden?
Oh, there are. I don't have that list in front of me, but I believe one is coming up in the next 2 weeks. But that should be listed on the website as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you, Alyssa. I am going to go ahead and share my screen again, and I will pass it off to Maria to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Steph. Our next speaker is Gary Slavin, Papa Bear, from Brave Young Hearts. Gary?
Hi, I'm here. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. Let me share my screen. We are Brave Young Hearts. We do outdoor adventures for children that are terminal or have life-threatening diseases. Our ages are anywhere from 5 to 18 years old. And sometimes we'll make an exception based on an emergency. Let me tell you a little bit about myself first. Maria said that I go by Papa Bear, and that's the truth. Nobody ever calls me by my real name. And that actually started with my wife and I when I had finished playing football in high school, and she just told me I'm just a big old bear. And now in 49 years of marriage, she still never called me my real name. So that's how that came about. We lost our first granddaughter, Bethany, to brain tumors when she was 4.5 years old. And Bethany was a smart, smart, smart little girl. And she kept saying, Papa Bear, when can I go hunting with you? And I'm like, honey, when you turn 7, I'll take you hunting. Well, she only lived to 4.5 years old. And so here, I'd like to show you, this is our Bethany, if you can see her there. And she passed away when she was 4.5 years old. She is the reason why we started Brave Young Hearts. Bethany got to go to Florida for her Make-A-Wish trip, and she got to go to Give Kids the World in Florida as part of that. And that's a whole fantasy village for kids with diseases. And my wife and I got to see that we were not alone in losing a child, and that many families are losing multiple children. And Make-A-Wish is an awesome organization, but they won't do the outdoor adventures. And so we decided that we would just start this organization and do just strictly outdoors. whether that's whale watching. We sent a kiddo from North Dakota to California with his whole family to go whale watching, and he saw three blues within 10 minutes of going out there. So we do emergencies. We had an emergency. A 5-year-old girl had never seen the ocean, and she was in final stages of life. And so we sent her and her family to California to go see the ocean, and as well as go to SeaWorld and have breakfast with the orcas. And when she got back to Colorado, she passed away. We do adventures for kids all over the United States, but we are located in Arvada, and we work out of our house. And everyone associated with Brave Young Hearts actually still works a real job. I retired 4 years ago from the space industry. I did regulatory compliance for satellite launches all over the world. And then I thought I was retired, but then God said no. And a friend of mine said, I think you'd be great teaching physics to kids at the Denver Street School. So here I am. I'm at the Denver Street School working here now. We work out of our house, so we have no rent or things that account against it. Everything we get, we try to put towards the adventures. And I'd like to show you our current kiddo. His name is Corbin. He's 12 years old, and he is in final stages of life. He's quadriplegic, so he cannot fly. Corbin lives in South Carolina, and he is actually on his adventure right now. He wanted to go see the Grand Canyon. And so we rented a motorhome for him to drive from, his dad to drive from South Carolina. And we routed out everything for them to stop about every 6 hours because of Corbin. And he's going to actually, he's in Moab, Utah today. He will be at the Grand Canyon tomorrow. And then we'll do a return trip on a lower part of the United States to see that as well. I'd like to show you a quick video. She is in final stages of heart failure. At 7 years old, she had a heart attack and nobody knew it. And so she went 16 minutes without oxygen to her brain. So she cannot speak. She cannot really do anything. And she just wanted to go and ride the World War's train. So I'd like to show you this video. So that's just a segment of what we do. And then also here is, we also do deep sea fishing, and Ben went to Florida to go deep sea fishing. And Ben has brain cancer. So that's what we do. We send the whole family on an adventure. We do one fundraiser every year. It's a sporting clay shoot, which will be coming up in August. And the average cost for each of these adventures runs us about $10,000. So I just really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you all about what we do. And what I hope that you get out of it is that you'll remember us, that if you know of a family or hear of a family who has a child that's fighting a life-threatening disease or is terminal and would like an outdoor adventure, then that's what we're here for. So any questions on that at all?
Not a question, but a comment. That's amazing. Thank you all for what you guys do.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Thank you so much for sharing. I had no idea about this organization, so I really appreciate what y'all do and for coming to talk about it today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I will say that it was pretty interesting that you are not limited just to Colorado for outdoor experiences. It looks like it's across America. Is that correct?
That's it. That's it. Um, we'll take kids anywhere they are in the United States and send them anywhere in the United States, wherever they want to go. It's up to the child to decide what they want to do, and it's just got to be outdoors. So you saw fishing, you saw the railroad. We've had a girl just wanted to go horseback riding. So it's whatever they want to do, and from there all over the United States we'll do it.
I do have one more question. Do you recruit volunteers? How would somebody be donating their time to this beautiful cause?
That's a great question because we need help getting everything set up to do our fundraiser this year. So we need people to help get flyers out and to help us get donations and everything. And then of course, the day of the shoot, we need help setting up all the tents and everything that we do. So we would absolutely take anybody's help at all.
I sure hope that you stay in touch with me whenever that fundraising happens, so we're able to share it too in our outlet.
You got it.
Are
And I
there
see
any
a
more
question,
questions?
is there a limit to any of the number of the participants? No, there's no limit. We had one family that they had 4 children and we did 4 separate adventures for them because they all have the same disease.
Any other question for Carrie? Thank you so much,
Thank you. I
Carrie.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Kelly Irvin, the new RTD Director of the Civil Rights Division. We wanted to give her a chance to introduce herself and share a little bit about her background. Kelly?
Okay, well, thank you. First off, I'd like to say a very warm thank you to Executive Director Samuels for inviting me to today's meeting with Dr. Mack. I want to, I had to turn my video off to wipe my eyes. Mr. Slavin, Papa Bear, you caught me, you grabbed my heart and you just started twisting it. So the work that you do, I commend you. I commend you. I had already prepared giving tens to Austin, my team member, for Mr. Rad things to do, and there's your 10, Austin. To Miss Carrie, I'm sorry, to Alyssa, 10 things. I learned something new. I never heard of a registered horticulture therapist, so I learned something new today. And then also to Mr. Thomas with a capital R, Wilson, thank you for the work that you do. You promote storytelling. That's the oral history. Many people, that's what they remember, being told a story. Reading is key, but when someone can actually tell a story, you actually grab their imagination and you take them down that path with you. Um, I'm Kelly Irving, everyone. I'm the new director for the Civil Rights Division here at RTD, and I'm fired up. I'm fired up to be here in Denver. I was sharing with Executive Director Samuels that I came into town I started my route on March 14th, coming in from California. On March 16th, it took me about 2 days to drive here from California. Mother Nature met me with a wonderful snowstorm. So in my mind, she cleared and cleaned the path for me to come on into Denver to do the people's work. And what I mean by the people's work is to be an advocate, be a person of commitment for Papa Bear, for Thomas, promote what Alyssa is doing, and obviously be a team member to Austin, and to actually be a great partner, a collaborative partner with Dr. Mack. I am from California originally. However, my career has taken me around this wonderful United States. I've lived in primarily a lot of southern states, Texas, Louisiana, Georgia. I've spent some time a little bit in Wisconsin and in Maryland. And I've seen a lot, and I've honed my skills in civil rights in those regions. I'm dealing with transportation and or any other public entity. The people's business, making sure that civil rights is being applied and being complied with to ensure accessibility. I'm excited by my time here at Denver RTD. I'm excited what is ahead of me, the work that is ahead of me. These definitely are challenging times, but nonetheless, we have the right team to do the work. And with that, I know that I'm going to be given another opportunity at a later date. I don't want to rob this moment and give you everything, but I will give you my 30-second interview. And Executive Director Samuels knows it. So if it's hamburger or tacos, I'm going to go with tacos. However, I have been hanging out at In-N-Out lately. Okay, just getting a bite of California. Okay. With that, I am a very a strong fan and advocate and aficionado of music. I love to dance. So if you have a tune, you can pretty much see me trying to catch a beat to it. So I love smooth jazz, but I love all types of music. So pop, rock, R&B, a little hip hop. I was going to try to create a little song for my introduction, but then I said, spare them. Don't do that. I have humor. So I love to actually incorporate humor into my work because our work is very, it after seeing Brave Young Hearts, it can be very, very emotional. So maintaining humor in what we do allows us the ability to be continue to be passionate and empathetic as we move forward to do the right thing. With that, I want to thank Executive Director Samuels again for today's introduction. Thank you, Miss Maria, for my introduction of giving me and passing me the mic. And I want to commend everyone on this call and look forward to meeting you in person. Thank you.
And she is funny. She's definitely funny. So I hope you all get a chance to meet Kelly in person. All right. Well, thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know it's kind of busy time for RTD, so we appreciate it. And I am going to go to membership. So first, I want to say thank all of our speakers today. We had some wonderful speakers. I've learned so much. I'm excited for the summer season. As a reminder to you all, Dr. Mack is supported primarily by our members. And we couldn't do what we do without them. If you're interested in becoming a Dr. Mack member or would like to learn more, please just let us know. And I think we have a spotlight. And with that said, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our Dr. Mac members. Thank you for sticking with us and feeling the progress that we make every single day. I want to ask someone on the team, if you don't mind, to put the link to membership in the chat. About this time of year is where we should be doing the half price for the rest of this year and then full price for the next year. But if someone could put that in the chat, I appreciate it. So we finally listened to you all at our last membership meeting. One recurring theme was that, or at our most recent member meeting, is that you guys wanted to hear some valuable feedback on legislation updates and on funding opportunities. And so I know it took us a minute, but we finally got it. And I'm not going to read all of these. It's more informational. And if you guys want to discuss it more a little bit as we get into the open floors portion of the meeting, we can do that. But the three major areas that I have here are the transportation funding and roads, rideshare regulation, and RTD modernization accessibility. I think that a lot of you guys probably are familiar with a lot of these legislation updates. But when we get to the open, like I said, let's talk about it a little bit more when we get to that part of the meeting. Then did we add another slide for the funding? Okay. I want this to be, I know that there was a lot of interest in Dr. Mack sharing funding opportunities in this meeting, and I think that's a wonderful idea. But I would also like to see, as we share these, if you guys think of anything that maybe you and another org, you and Dr. Mack collaborate on, because we all know as the funding keeps getting smaller, but the need keeps getting larger, we're going to have to think outside the box. And I think the best way to do that is figure out ways that we can work together to apply for some of these funding opportunities, or you can work with another org to apply. But what I have here is one that I think anyone in transportation right now working in that industry would probably find interesting. So I just kind of copy paste did this calendar of upcoming fundraising opportunities from the CDOT website. And again, when we get to this point of which we're going into right now, when we get to the community update slide, if there are any funding opportunities that you all know of, please feel free to share. And that's the transition into we had a pretty package of today. So now we're going to open up the floor for you, and this is your chance to share any upcoming events, new programs, updates, or anything you have with the group. Please feel free to unmute, use your raise the hand feature, or just drop your news directly in the chat, and we'd love to hear from you. Floor is open. Andrea?
Arapahoe County just opened their what is it? It's not request for grants for their aid to agencies grants. And it's open until July sometime. I want to say July 14th, but I'm not positive.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Latoya, I'm scared if I go to my OneNote, my computer's just gonna crash. Can you make a note of that, please? Thank you, Andrea. Melanie? Thanks, Andrea.
As usual, I will throw out a plug for Centennial's upcoming event this weekend. It's our first of the year. It's going to be called Celebrate Centennial, and it'll be at our Centennial Center Park on Arapahoe. And I'll post a link in the chat. It's on Saturday.
What time does it start, Melanie?
It starts at 11, although there is a yoga class earlier that starts at 10. That's of interest.
Okay. Thank you. Graciela?
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to plug that Summer EBT is back. If you don't know what that is, it's a program that gives families a one-time $120 grocery benefit for each eligible child over the summer when kids aren't getting the meals that they usually eat at school. And I'll go ahead and put the link for more information about that in the chat. And there's also, when you go to that link, you'll see there's a way to go to the Check My Enrollment or the SEBT portal. Both of those are for you to use, but I would go to the enrollment one first just to see if you have a child or if your clients have children, they can look there to see if they're already enrolled or would need to apply.
I love that. I'm glad they didn't cut that program. I thought maybe they would this year, but I'm
Oh my
happy
gosh,
to know
yes,
that.
I'm so glad. It's
Is
here
that
this
May,
year.
June, July, or is that
So most
is it
people would
fall,
have gotten their
summer?
benefits issued at the end of May, but
Okay.
not everyone. So if like you had to apply, you might not have, but they expire 4 months after they're issued. So
Okay.
just from the date of issuance, 120 days. And all that information is on this page that I just sent.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And you're also welcome to call Hunger Free or email myself for questions. I'll put that info in there too.
And there's still the schools that have the free lunch program as well, I believe.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, there's
Yes.
so in addition to summer EBT, they have summer meal sites throughout the summer for families. And for that, you wouldn't need to submit any type of like proof that you're eligible. You just show up with your kiddos and they can get food.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Check the chat. Is there anyone else?
Elaine, this is Jamie.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, how many people like Greek food?
Like Greek food?
Greek food. You like Greek food?
That's one of my faves. I love
Well,
it.
Saturday is the Greek festival off of Colorado Boulevard and Steele, I think it is.
Oh, it's in my hood.
Yeah.
Wait, what's over there? Oh, wait, no. What's over there, Jimmy?
It's where the Gold Dome is. Off of
It's where the what is?
the Gold Dome.
Isn't that Holly Street?
I go to the bus stop, Cherry, yeah. So, make a long story short, I will be there. I'm working with Denver Streets Congress, and we're collecting signatures in order to get a bus rapid transit on Colorado Boulevard. So if you want to go out and have some fun, have a gyro or a gyro, whatever how they say that, come out and join us. I think the cover is only $5, so come out and join us. Second thing, as everybody knows, RTD's got some financial issues. We're about 225 million short in 2027. I attended their workshop last week. I came away with a positive attitude that they're going to get it done, but they're going to be talking about some proposed cuts on June 9th at the Finance Committee meeting, and then June 10th at the operations meeting, culminating with decisions that will be made at the full board meeting on June 23rd. So I encourage you, and I left a message in the chat to our new civil rights leader that these are important meetings because we need to cut the budget, but we don't want to cut it so far that we're cutting into civil rights. So this is a big deal for us. I think they're going to be able to get it done. There was some great ideas that came up. But if you really want to monitor that, I encourage people to attend those committee meetings. Thanks.
I agree. Thank you, Jamie. Heather said West Tracks and Orcart are collaborating beautifully at Jeffco Light Rail Station on weekends. Love to hear that. Thank you, Heather. I don't see anything else in the chat. Jamie, let me ask you: is for the Colorado BRT, is the survey still open? Are they still accepting survey responses for that? I think.
I'm sorry, I'm not really sure, Colleen.
Okay, that's okay. I could check with Jill. Thank you. I think. Bye, Heather. Thank you. I think that's all I see. And anyone else have any more updates or anything they'd like to chat about? Yeah. I guess I'm not giving you guys back much time, but give you back about 5 minutes like if you're your time. Um, that wraps things up. A huge thank you to everyone for jumping in and sharing such great insights. We truly value your time and the collaborative energy you bring to this group. We're already looking forward to seeing you all at our next educational offering meeting on July 7th from 1:30 to 3 p.m. Until then, have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Great.
Thank you.
You.